paradise has been shattered. Drivers from around Australia and across the globe doing battle in the International Karting Championship, an event that has well and truly put the north coast of New South Wales on the world motorsport map.
For the first time in Australia, a round of the International Karting Championships. Not in Sydney or any other capital city, but at a place called Raleigh, a farming area just south of the tourism mecca, Coffs Harbour. Carved out of the bush at Raleigh is a go-kart track that from the start was a cut above the rest. Chris Piggott owns the track. With the help of friends and a dedicated band of go-kart followers, he threw a weekend circuit into the world karting spotlight. And that was a long, hard road to hoe.
Here we go. It was very tough. We had a lot of fuel ejections from the neighbours, few hassles with the Shire Council and that. Took us a couple of years to get it approved through council. And then it was the financial side of it. But we got there.
And so at Raleigh, where not so long ago cattle grazed and wild Australian animals went about the business of survival, some of the best go-kart drivers in the world were going about their business. 77 of the finest drivers in Australia, Italy, Holland, South Africa and Portugal tackling the new-look Raleigh International track over 3 days.
As we go back to the first four, Morrow were fourth in the 14 kart. The 2 kart in second position still is Piper. In the third place is Clark in 6 with the 4 kart, the other Italian.
It's a fair bet that names broadcast to the crowd over those 3 days would one day be linked to the pinnacle of motorsport achievement, Formula One. With a head start, kart number 53 in the junior division, piloted by young Christian Jones, son of Australia's former World Formula One champion, Alan Jones.
Kart 64 runs out in front at the moment. He's from Western Australia, and he's just in front of the 61 kart, and that's Roos, the South African, in the combi kart with Rotax engine and Vega tyre. Oh, dust flies there. We've missed
For the overseas teams competing at Raleigh, the challenge of another country, another climate. John Bussell, designer with the Italian Top Kart Chroma team, is having a battle with the Australian sun.
For instance, here the biggest problem is the heat. With the amount of sun that we've been getting over the last few days, the asphalt has raised to a very, very high temperature, which is causing the tires to stick a lot. In Japan, for instance, you have a lot of rain. The asphalt remains very, very cold. You have a lot of humidity in the morning. So you, in Japan, will probably have 3 setups for the chassis to use through the day. For the morning when the track is cold, a bit damp and slippery, through midday when the water's burnt off, and then in the evening as it starts to cool down again. Here you have a constant temperature. The problem here is just too much grip.
In its formative years, karting was regarded as a cheap form of motorsport. Its incredible rise in popularity and the tough competition born out of that popularity has produced a different story at this level.
When I budget to run the year overseas, it's roughly $100,000 a driver.
A different story in Australia, where the money's a bit thin on the ground. Patrick Parry is the current Australian champion in Formula A.
We've mainly paid our own way so far. We're actually chasing sponsors at the moment for karting. We have a minor sponsor that sort of pays a little bit of our expenses, but not a lot.
So, an interesting battle. The big money teams from Europe up against the family businesses from Australia. But one common goal, to go racing and to win. Competition at the Raleigh International Raceway would involve time trials, qualifying heats, pre-finals and finals in 4 classes. The very nursery of the sport going around in cadets and juniors. Manufacturers' Cup, where Australian-built karts put their names on the line. Intercontinental A, and the top-of-the-line Formula A, the cream of international karting.
Lights are green and racing. And they're away, and Morrow on the inside in the 14 kart. Is he able to hang on? Oh, upside down, almost one. We've got 2 almost come to a stop. One is back the front. He stopped, and the other man is doing a little bit of grass cutting to get back onto the track this time round. Where's my binoculars to see if I can find out who's in the front as they come out of the box corner this time, and it is got to be the 14 kart. The Italian man, Morrow, reigns supreme at this stage. as they go up the Bridgestone corner for the first time. They come out of there. The number 2 cut of Troy Pepper is in second position as they go along the pit straight, and they work their way around the right-hand sweeper up to the top and across the velodrome area for the first time. Adam Clark in the 6 cut is next. The 4 cut is right in behind him, and the 4 is Luca Casayo as he comes around this time. They're the first 4. Long gap back to the rest, and I'll tell you what, some close racing going on there. 11 is Johnny Baxter as we go back to the first 4, and it's still Morrow in the 14 cart. The 2 cart in second position still is Piper. In the third place is Clark in 6 with the 4 cart. The other Italian, Calcio, is in 4th position. They go up the Bridgestone corner once more. They come off the hill. They go round the bottom. There's a great dice going on a little bit further back too, but as you can see, oh, inside. Who was that inside there as I pick him up coming out very quickly? It looks like it's the 15 cart. It's young Luke Van Dorn putting up a great performance. He's gone up past Johnny Baxter. He's now up into 5th position. He's got a long way to run at this stage, but I'm quite sure he'll put everything into it as he comes into it. First 4 go past me.
They're racing with the knowledge that the only way in this sport is up. No fewer than 64 countries are involved in karting these days. 64,000 driving licenses issued in a sport that is the first step to the big time. No fewer than 26 of the current batch of Formula One drivers strutting the world stage did all their primary school work behind the wheel of a car. Qualifying heats are just as intense as the big money finals to come a day later. The juniors and cadets, like their big brothers ahead of them, will race over 15 laps. These youngsters have the luxury of being able to have their machine started from a power source other than sheer physical effort. But that doesn't always go smoothly either.
You leave the needle alone. Turn around. Corey, in. Put it on properly. Go on. Not enough. Mate, look.
Problems that would be sorted out before the next day's final. And as the countdown for the finals began, there was just as much action in the pits as there was out on the track. The teams fine-tuning the machines that would go into battle tomorrow. There have been great technological advances in karting over the years, but 4 pieces of equipment can still make the big dollar difference between winning and losing.
The most critical thing on any of the karts racing here today in the open classes, except for the clubman classes that are racing now, which run on a control tyre, are the tyres. All the things, the chassis, the engine can make half a second difference perhaps. One chassis over another might be half a second, one motor over another might be half a second. Tyres can make over a second difference, even 2 seconds. And if you don't align yourself with the right tyre manufacturer at a particular race circuit, you can work your butt off all weekend and really achieve nothing in the end because of the tyres.
Newcomers to the sport quickly picked up the fact that go-karts don't have gears, but that drivers still dropped a hand from the wheel several times during a circuit.
All the engines in kart racing are 2-stroke. That means they fire every time the piston goes up and down. If you watch the racing today, you may see the drivers playing with the carburetor, or they put their hand down the side of the engine. Now what they are doing is tuning the carburetor. If we look at the carburetor here, that is the high-speed jet. That controls the engine revolutions at the top end of the rev range. This is the low-speed jet. That controls the engine the way it comes off the corner, how smoothly the engine delivers the power when they put the throttle on. It's very critical that you get that right. Too much one way or too much the other can mean poor performance or an engine blowing up.
So, much more to driving these things than just pointing them in the right direction. So much for the lesson. The drivers and the pit crews would now settle down for the